Have you ever had a VFD just trip? No warning, no obvious reason. The motor is fine, the cable looks fine, everything looks fine, but the drives show fault code. And when you reset it, it's run perfectly for a while then trips again. Okay? Maybe it's happen at night, maybe it's happen when a nearby machine start, maybe just happen randomly. These are called ghost fault. When I can tell you from my experience, they are one of most frustrating things in electrical industrial in electrical works, because you cannot find the cause by looking. The problem is invisible. It's electrical noise, and in most cases it comes back to one thing: the grounding of VFD is not done properly. So in today's video I am going to explain this in very simple word. No formulas, no complicated theory, just clear explanation. What ground is, okay, what EMI is, why VFD creates so much of it, and exactly what you to do to stop ghost fault for good. So first, what grounding actually does? Simple explanation. Okay. Before we talk about this problem, let me explain what grounding actually is. Okay. Because a lot of people, they think they know, but the VFD side of grounding is different from what most electrician learns. So basic grounding, the kind every electrician know, is a safely measure if something goes wrong inside a machine and a live wire touch the metal case. The ground wire gives that electricity a safe path to flow away. Without a ground, that metal case becomes dangerous to touch. With a proper ground, the fault current flows safety and trips the protection device. That's safety grounding. Everyone understand this. Okay? But with VFD, there is a second type grounding that matters just as much, and it's just completing differently. Okay? This is called EMI grounding, or sometimes signal grounding also called. This is not about safety. This is about giving electrical noise, unwanted electrical signals, a control path to flow away so they don't travel into places they should not go and cause problems. Both types of grounding are needed in VFD installation. Most people do the safety grounding correctly. The many people do the EMI grounding poorly or not at all, and that is where ghost fault begin. Okay? So my next point is what EMI is and why VFD produce so much of it. So the EMI stand for electromagnetic interface. Big word, simple meaning. It is just electrical noise. Unwanted signal. Again saying that it's just electrical noise. Unwanted electrical signals that travels through cable and through the air and disturb other equipment. Okay. Now why do VFD produce so much of it? So the answer is in how a VFD works. Inside a VFD there are transistors called IGBT, and that switch on and off extremely fast. We are talking 1000 times per second. Okay, so every single time one of these transistor switches, it creates a very fast, very sharp electrical pulse. These sharp pulses are like little shock waves, and that travels along the cables connected to the VFD. This electrical shocks the EMI travel along the motor cable, among the power cables, and through the grounding system. If the grounding is not set up to give this noise, a control path, it's wandered its get into signal cables. It gets into PLC input, it gets into sensors, it corrupts the tiny electrical signals those devices use to communicate, and the PLC or drive sees what look like a fault signal. Okay? When in reality it is just electrical noise pretending to be fault signals. So this is a ghost fault. Electrical noise wandering through a poorly ground system telling your equipment that something is wrong when nothing actually is. Okay? So my next point safety ground versus EMI ground, the important difference. Okay? Let me make sure we are clear on the difference between these two types of grounding, because confusing them where most mistake starts. Okay? Safety grounding, also called protective earth, is there for you and the people around the machine. It must be connected, it must be the correct size, it must be continuous from the machine all the way back to the main electrical point of the building. Okay, this is a legal and safety requirement. It follow the wiring regulation of your country. Okay, next, EMI grounding, also called shielding ground or signal ground, is there for your equipment. It's give the electrical noise about from the VFD. VFD is direct, short, low impedance path back to the source. It stops that noise from traveling along cables and disturbing other equipment. This does not replace safety grounding. So this is not replace safety ground, it works alongside. Okay, the critical point for EMI grounding to work properly, the path for the noise must short and direct. A long thin wire is not good enough. EMI is high frequency noise, and high frequency noise does not like long path. It look like a shortcut. If you do not give a short direct path, it will find its own path through your signal cables. Okay, your sensor wires and your communication cables, and that cause problem start. So my next topic is why one ground wire is not enough for VFD. Okay, here is something that surprised a lot of experienced electrician. Okay, for the VFD installation, one ground wire is connected at one point is not enough, and this is not my opinion. It is where every major VFD manufacturer says in their installation guidelines. Let me explain why. A standard VFD generates EMI from three places: the incoming power cables, the outgoing motor cable, and the motor itself. Each of this is a source of electrical noise. Each of these needs its own grounding path back to the earth point. Okay, the motor needs its own ground conductor, so a wire that run alongside the motor cable from the motor body all the way back to the VFD earth terminal. This is sometimes called symmetrical ground or 360-degree shield connection. It gives the high frequency noise from a motor direct path to return, so it does not traveling through the other cable to find its way back. Okay, the VFD panels itself needs a solid connection to the building earth, ideally through the short, the large conductor directly to main earth bar, not through a long chain of other panels, not through a thin green wire routed around the back of the cabinet. Short, large direct. So my next point, motor cables length, routing and separation rules. Okay, the cable between your VFD and your motor, this is the biggest source of EMI in wall system. The longer it is in, the closer it run to other cable, the more noise puts into your system. Let me give you the practical rule. Rule number 1, keep the motor cables as short as reasonably possible. Okay, longer cables mean more surface area for EMI to radiate from. There is a reason VFD manufacturer specify maximum motor cable length. Beyond those length, the EMI becomes difficult to control and can also damage motor insulation from voltage reflection. So check your drive manual for the maximum cable length without a filter. Rule number 2, keep the motor cables away from signal cables. Never run your VFD motor cable in a single cable tray or conduct as a signal cable, sensor cable or communication cable, and control cables also. This should be completely separate raceway. The minimum separation is typically 300 mm, but more is better. If they must cross them at 90 degrees, never run them parallel. Okay. Rule number 3, do not coil excess motor cable. I have seen installation where there was extra cable in the installer coil, it nearly inside the panel. Okay, a coil of cables is an antenna. A coil of VFD motor cable is a very efficient EMI antenna, radiating noise in all directions. Cut the cable to correct length, and if you cannot cut it, route it in a straight line rather than calling it. Shield cables, what they do and how to connect them. Let me talk about shield cables because this is one of the most powerful tools for controlling EMI from VFD installation. And also, one of things that gets done wrong most often, a shield cable has a layer of metal, usually braided copper or foil wrap, that surround the inner conductor. This metal lead, also called the shield or the screen. When EMI tries to escape from the cable, or when external EMI tries to get into the cable, the shield interrupts it. Think of it as a metal jacket that stops at the noise from getting in or out. But here is the critical part that most people get wrong. The shield only works if it is properly connected to earth at both ends. A shield that connected at only one end or not connected at all give you almost no protection. The noise has nowhere to go. The shield is just pretty metal jacket doing nothing. For motor cables in VFD installation, the shield should be connected to the VFD earth terminal at the drive end and to motor body at the motor end, both ends. The shield need a 360-degree connection, meaning the metal braid should make contact all that way around the cable, not just pigtail of wires. Many cable grinds are designed for this. They grip and braid all around when you tighten them. So next point, ground loop, what they are and what they cause problem. Okay, now I want to talk about something called a ground loop, because this is a problem that comes from trying to do grounding correctly but doing it wrong way, and it is surprisingly common. A ground loop happens when the same pieces of equipment, a sensor, a signal, cables, a screen, is connected to earth at two different points, and those two earth points are a slightly different voltage. Wait, how can we two earth point be at different voltage? They are both called earth, right? Yes, but in real industrial installation, the earth is not perfect. Small current flow through the earth connection and other equipment, from leakage current in the motor, from the VFD itself, and those small current create small voltage difference between earth points. When a signal cable screen is connected to earth at both ends, and those two earth points have a voltage difference between them, even a small one like 100 millivolts current flow through the screen trying to equalize the voltage. Okay, this current flowing through the screen create the magnetic field, and that magnetic field induce a tiny voltage on the signal conductor inside the cable, and that tiny induced voltage looks like signal your PLC or your sensor. It causes false reading, communication error, or ghost fault create. So solution: for the signal cable and sensor cable, connect the shield at and only usually at the control panel's end, not the field device end. This breaks the loop. The shield still works as a screen against internal external EMI, but no loop current can flow. Note, this is different from motor cable. When you connect the shield at both ends, motor cables and signals cable follow different rule. So my next point, how to ground a VFD panel the right way. Okay, let me give you the practical step-by-step grounding approach for the VFD panel. These are the things that, when done correctly, prevent the majority of EMI or ghost fault problem. Step 1. Use a single solid earth bar inside the VFD panel. All internal earth connection go to this bar, the VFD earth terminal, the panel chassis, the cable gland, earth connection, all of one central bar. Okay, this bar then connected to the building earth with a short larger conductor, minimum for drives above 15 kilowatts. Okay, step number 2, connect the motor cable shield to the VFD earth terminal using a proper 360-degree cable gland. So again, not pigtail, not a wire clamp, a proper EMC cable gland that grips the shield of all that way around. Okay. Step number 3, mount the VFD on a metal backplate that is properly bounded the panel's earth bar. The VFD has built-in EMI filter called a common mode filter that relies on the mounting plate being earthed. If the mounting plate is painted or has poor metal to contact, this internal filter cannot work properly. Separate paint from the mounting surface or use star washer to cut through paint for the good metal. So step number 4, keep control cable and keep control cable and signal cable away from your power cable inside the panel too. Not just outside, route them on opposite side of the panel interior. Use separate cable ducts. Okay. Step number 5. Connect motor body to earth with separate ground conductor. In addition to the motor cable, earth wire run directly from the motor housing to the VFD earth terminal alongside the motor cable. Next point, Faraday cores and EMI filters when you need them. Sometimes even good grounding and proper cable installation, you still have EMI problems. Maybe cables run are long, maybe you are in a plant where many VFD are installed close together. So in that cases, there are two more tools you can use. The first is Faraday core. This is small ring made of special magnetic material Faraday that you clip or slide into the cable. You pass the cable through in hole in the middle. What the Faraday core does, absorb high frequency noise from the cable like sponge for EMI. It does not affect the normal low frequency power or signal on the cable. It's only absorb the high frequency noise. Faraday cores are cheap. You can clip them onto signal cables, into control cables, into output of VFD or into the motor cables close to the drive. Multiple turn of cable through the same Faraday gives more suppression. Pass the cable through the ring 2 or 3 times if the ring is large enough. Okay. The second tool is EMI input filter, sometimes called a line filter or an RFI filter. This is the dedicated filter module that sits between the power supply and the VFD input. It is designed specially to stop high frequency noise from the VFD from traveling back to supply network. Most modern VFD have internal EMI filter built in. Check your drive specification to see what category it meets. Okay, if you need better performance, for example to meet IEC standard for conducted emission, an external EMI filter can be added. So next point, the most common grounding mistake in the field. Let me tell you the grounding mistake see most often that field. Because of recognizing them, the first step to fixing them. Mistake number 1. A single ground wire connect to the distant earth point, usually 4 square mm wire, green wire, routed through multiple panels to reach the main earth somewhere 15 meters away. This is fine for safety. It is useless for EMI. The EMI loud at that thin long wire takes shortcut through the signals cable instead. Mistake number 2. Mounting surface under the VFD. Paint is an insulator. If your VFD is mounted on painted steel plate with no bare metal contact, the VFD drive's internal EMI filter has to earth connection. It simply does not work. This is one of the most common cause of ghost fault new installation. It's look correct. The VFD is bolted down, but electrically it is floating. So remove paint, use star washer, make metal to metal contact. Mistake number 3. Connecting cable shield using pigtail wires. I see this constantly. The installer strip the cable, cut a short wire from the braid and connect to an earth terminal. At 50 Hz this works fine. At the high frequency VFD produce that short pigtail its antenna that radiates noise. So use proper 360-degree glance. Mistake 4. Running signals cable in the same tray as motor cable. The VFD motor cable is very strong EMI source. Any signal cables running alongside it will pick up that noise. Separate them always. Mistake number 5. Not labeling earth connection after installation. Someone adds extra equipment to panel 6 months later and breaks an earth connection or remove bonding wire they did not know was important. Label every earth and bonding connection clearly. This is stop future modification from creating new problems. So last and final checklist and conclusion. Let me give you a quick checklist before you go. These are the 10 things to check in any VFD installation to prevent fixed ghost fault. Okay. 1. Is there a short last conductor connecting the VFD panels directly to the main building earth? 2. Is the VFD mounting surface film free of paint? Is there bare metal contact? 3. Are motor cables still connected at both ends using 360-degree cable glands? 4. Are signal and sensor cable still connected at one end only at panel end? 5. Is the motor cables in separately tray or conduct from signal cables? 6. Is there separate earth conductor running alongside the motor cable from motor body to VFD earth? 7. Is the motor cable as short as soon as possible for the installation? 8. Are there any coils of excess cable inside or near the panel? If yes, uncoil them. 9. Is the panel earth bar bonded to the panel frame, door and cable tray? 10. Are any Faraday cores or EMI filter needed based on cable length or proximity of sensitive equipment? So, if this video helped you understand something that has been confusing for a long time, or if it helped you solve an actual ghost problem in your plant phase, please hit the like button. It really does help this content reach more engineers and technicians who need it. Share with your team and subscribe if you want more practical, okay, no nonsense engineering content like this. No nonsense engineering content like this. So see you in next video one. Thank you very much.